Good morning, stackers of Satoshis. Bitcoin and crypto is almost over the hump. Let's do a quick Bitcoin and general crypto update. It is Tuesday, the 24th of June, 2024 with me, Joe Main, brought to you by Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com and Stormrake, stormrake.com, your full service cryptocurrency brokerage here in Australia and in the US. Get 2% brokerage fees for life when you sign up before June 30th with the links I will provide. Here is Bitcoin on the daily time frame price in USD, $104,911. We're using the Bitstamp exchange price. So interesting. We did posit yesterday or the day before, I think it was, is crypto bottoming around here? Yes, we've been saying that for a little bit. But we have been coming down to crucial levels. I'll start with Bitcoin, then we'll go to others, the altcoin market, then I'll take a look at a few individual ones, some of my favorites. So we have been talking about here the Fibonacci from this low and this high, so the low of $75,000 roughly, and that all-time high of $112,000. And of course, we've been talking about the ZAG zone, the expected support range, which no problem. After a high, come back into here, completely normal, expected anywhere in between here. I mean, you can still bounce from here. That's very bullish, right? But anywhere down to here, and it's like, it's fine. It's cool. It's par for course. Markets go up, markets go down. Just don't want to see it clear below that $89,000-ish kind of market. So far, what have we done though? Looks like we've had a lovely bounce. Now, it is a bounce so far. I will show you the hurdle that I think we need to jump over in order to say onwards and upwards from here. But if you take a look on the weekly time frame, at least we didn't touch it exactly, but it's pretty darn close. I mean, look at that when you zoom out, right? Break up, new all-time high, come back and test the top end of the ZAG zone. Okay, really bullish. Okay, it is bullish. We just need to get over that little extra hump. We're back over the 0.236. That's good too. We haven't closed the week, okay, so anything can happen, of course. So let's talk about what the next area is, okay? And we're pretty close to it right now. Show you on the daily time frame, we've actually just found resistance there. So now what I do is instead of that Fibonacci, I take it from, let me hide that for you. I take it from this high, and this is on the daily time frame. I take it to this low, okay? And now we need to break through the 618 area. And gee, where have we found resistance at? What do you know? It's at the top end of the ZAG zone at the 618. So we've found resistance exactly there. So bare minimum, we need to break and hold above that. I don't know if that's necessary. I mean, it is necessary, but not sufficient. Okay, so that's breaking back above and holding above $105,900 roughly. However, if I show it to you on the weekly time frame, it's probably better to zoom out a little bit. And let's do it from, yeah, you can't really say, that's not really a pivot. That's the big pivot on the weekly. And if this is the pivot low, could be, then you take it from this high and this low, and you just do the same thing. It's very simple. Anyone can do this. You can do it yourself, okay? Or you can just follow me to stay updated. You get regular videos, and I go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays normally. Here we are, this ZAG zone, and that's between the 0.302 and the 0.618. So it's a little bit higher, and we're talking 106,700. Now, that's interesting as I'm doing this on the fly. Do you remember we talked about, I'll have to go back and find the video. I won't do it, and I won't provide the footage. But we spoke about 106,700 specifically as a key support level that we needed to hold. And now it looks like it's a key resistance level that we need to break through. Interesting. The power of the Fibonacci. Okay, so that's what I need to see. 106,000. Technically, it's 106,650. Close enough for jazz. 106,700, whatever. So I need to see that broken through. And out of interest on the weekly time frame, does that align with any previous resistance levels? Right there. That spike on the weekly time frame. Kind of a cluster up here, but look at that. Again, interesting, isn't it? So we need to see that hold, close above. We need to see a weekly close above that level right there, and then it needs to hold. And then you do something like that. Well, particularly if you break through the 109, game on, like total game on. I would actually say game on after that, a successful hold, a successful retest of 106,700. But yeah, you do something like this, and then it is, yep, we're talking new all-time highs. okay, coming. And we're not going to, unless you fake out here, but if you close above there, you're onwards and upwards to a new all-time high. In Bitcoin, where could we go to? Sure, let's quickly ask that question, as most people are going to. I've been saying we can go, I think personally, we respect the following trend channel. This is my personal feeling. Everyone else, do you? And post your comments below as to how high you think Bitcoin could go, at least before we have a very large retracement. Okay, let me hide all this stuff. I use this old school trend channel going all the way back to almost the very beginning. We're talking, this trend channel starts, where are we? Back here in 2013, the peak of $1,167 US. And then, so it's through this and this. So that was the uptrend line. And then it's a parallel channel. Okay, so basically you put it in here and then it goes, okay, I need to find an area of confluence. Some people I've seen put it here. I could see the argument for that, which comes up to here, but I put it right here at the COVID low in March of 2020. I base it on that. And I actually find it respected it also very well. It's probably 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But I think that the bottom end here of this trend channel, I think that's going to continue to be resistance for a while, for a bit. Now, if Bitcoin's going to go just absolutely hog wild, I don't necessarily think that will be the case. It needs to break through and hold that as support. Okay, it's got to break through that at some point. And I think we will eventually get it back into this trend channel here. I don't know when that is. Is it in this cycle? Probably not. Maybe the next cycle, hopefully. But yeah, if you want Bitcoin to go crazy wild, then you need to see it do something like this. And then now it's back in this general area, and then we're just dealing with that area. However, I do think we just remain, it remains as resistance for a bit. But here's the positive thing. Bitcoin can continue going up in fiat dollar value and just hitting the top end, but you're still hitting like really good levels. Okay, so that's my opinion. It's going to find resistance somewhere here. Now, I'm not going to say when that is and how much it is when we get there, but, you can easily get to, this is what, July, that's, if we take it out on a monthly time frame, even in 2025, okay, there's nothing saying that it can't go to, what's this, 2025, September, October, November, December. Okay, there's nothing saying that in December or by, I'm not saying it's going here, by the way. I'm just saying in 2025, if Bitcoin was to go really, really well, respecting this, the bottom end of this trend channel, that's like $230,000 Bitcoin. I am not saying it's going there, okay? That's actually even higher than Bisha from Stormrake. I had a chat with Bisha from Stormrake. Oh, you can't see him right there. He's in that corner. Anyway, from Bisha from Stormrake, stormrake.com, we had a chat on my channel. Just go have a look for that. And he's positing $200,000 Bitcoin in 2025. Okay, he's kind of given a range of about 180 to 220, but that sort of mid-level of 200,000. He's the chief operating officer of Stormrake, the Australian-based full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. Okay, so he thinks anywhere up to this kind of general level is up here, and I have to say, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Okay, that's in October. So he's like for $200,000. Yeah, no, there's $200,000. Okay, so that's even. Let's say $200,000 by the end of 2025. That is sitting at around about there. Are you telling me Bitcoin, if we break 109,000, we start doing? You're telling me it can't kind of snake along like this and do something to the end of? That's not even hitting the top end. Okay, that's actually doable. So I'm not saying it's going there. It's not out of the realm of possibility, though. Okay, we've just seen a ceasefire, and this is one of the reasons why Bitcoin's had a bit of the rise. We've seen an apparent ceasefire between the US and Iran. Oh, so Israel and Iran. Okay, after US dropped the bunch of mother of all bombs. And so risk-on assets have come back, and that's why I've seen that pump in the Bitcoin price. So anyway, that's the The long version of the short way to say we might have a long way to go with Bitcoin in 2025. I, of course, see Bitcoin going to $1 million eventually, okay? But we just want to see it get over that hump of 106,700. So I'm going to mark it in right there-ish. Okay, cross over there, and I'd say we're looking pretty good. Okay, leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think Bitcoin's onwards and upwards to $200,000 maybe in 2025? I don't know. Post a comment below and let me know. Let's go to others. The altcoin market. Jeez. Remember I talked about this yesterday. I did. I posted it. I didn't do a YouTube video. I posted it on X specifically. Look at all the drawings. We said right here, I said that we broke down through the 0.618. That wasn't a good sign. And so I said we need to watch out for the next levels. The next level we came down to exactly on. This Fibonacci stuff is no joke because people believe it to be a thing, so they place their trades accordingly. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Or whether you believe Fibonacci is this magic thing and it's all part of the design, it's intelligent design, call it what you want, I don't care. But we found exact support at the 0.236 at the 201 billion. Now, if I do the low there, 202.15 billion, and I've got it at 201.83 billion. And I don't probably have these lines drawn in exactly. Okay, so that's damn on the money. Cool. So we have now broken back above. This is a good sign. We've broken back above into the normal support range, into the zag zone from this low and this high. We're back in there. We're not out of the woods yet, but let me show you on the, we've broken through that trend line as well. So this is others. This is the altcoin market, the entire altcoin market minus the top 10. Cool. So it gives you a good indication of what general crypto is doing. General crypto, and this downtrend right here, we've just broken through that. Could it hold as support? Quite possibly. So now let's play some what if, and let's look at the hump that we need to get over. Now I've been talking about 250 billion US dollars market cap, okay, and that's been based on this level right here. It's been based on this low and this high. Where is that not drawn in properly now? There you go. There you go, close enough for jazz. And it's been based on, that's because it's on the 4 hour. It's based on this resistance level here and that resistance level there. So I find 250 billion, I think it's going to be the kicker. However, now let's presume that we now have a low in crypto. We've come down to the 0.786, okay, instead of the 0.618. I'll just get rid of a bunch of crap for you. And let's posit on the opposite direction. So now we have to take it from, we'll take it from the daily, and we'll go from this high and this low. So right here and right here, and I'll show you on the weekly, it'll come out a little bit better. So this area right here, we now need to break through. Do we find any confluence with 250 billion? It's kind of close. You can see very clearly right there, that 240 billion. So it needs to clear this zone right here. So that's the new zone. If I show you on the weekly time frame, yeah, definitely the pivot is from there. So that's the weekly top, the possible weekly low, higher low, another one, which is good, okay? And that's the first higher low since the bear market starting up here in December, okay, of 2024, okay? So first higher low potentially. So I need to see it crack through. Back on the daily, it is 260 billion, okay? Does that line up with anything in terms of downtrend lines, anything like that? Yeah, that's a pretty shallow one. And you'd probably give it this one right here. Yeah, I'd probably say that one's more important. So get back up into the zag zone, please, and thank you. That would be lovely. And then ignore the pattern and ignore the time frame, okay? But we want to see something like the following, where you do that. Maybe it's going to have, I'll tell you now, here's what it will not do. It will not sail through this downtrend line the next time we get back to it. It virtually never does it on the second test. See, that's the point of inflection. That's the point. That's the first test. Well, actually, technically, this is the first test of the downtrend line because those 2 points had to establish the downtrend line. You won't see this just sail through and do that. Okay, so what you will see is this downtrend line respected at some point, but the positive thing is that's within the new zag zone. You just need to get out of it. Okay, so expect something along the lines of that it will reject, it'll post a higher low, or we want it to post a higher low. You don't want it to go anywhere below around about here. That's around about 230 billion. And this will be the one. If you do this and you crack through here, that's incredibly positive because, and that's, hey, geez, what do you know? That's at the $250 billion mark. So we're not out of the zag zone, but geez, we'd be breaking that decline right here. And we're out of this area of resistance and this area of resistance, also this area of support. So if these guys here, if these buyers become buyers again right here, you break that downtrend line, I'm actually going to stick with 250 billion. If you want to be really, what's the word I'm looking for? Risk averse. If you want to, I can't even think of the word. What's my brain doing? You want to be sure, then wait for a close and hold above 260 billion. But for me personally, if we break that, do that, I'm back in crypto. Full on back in crypto. I'll manage it and watch it until we get past 260 billion, but I'll be in like Flynn after 250 billion so long as we hold it. Cool. So, hey, it worked on the way up. It worked on from here and here, and it's working from here and here because it sits at exactly the 0.5 Fibonacci as well. So 250 billion is still the one for me. If that is the case, and we do that, I'm not saying we are because we could just break back down below here. And I would say if you cross below 215 billion, probably going to head down. Not good. So we're not out of the woods, right? That 250 billion is the hump for the general altcoin market. Okay, what will I be back in if we do, or what will I look at getting in for the first time? I actually might look at getting into ZBEC network for the first time if the opportunity presents itself. We are not there yet. It's a hurdle for me that we need to get over. And it's good to see we're back in the zag zone, which is good. That's actually from this low and this high. We need to clear, very clear resistance. Look at that. At 0.0047. Start clearing above there. That's a good sign. And then you would be saying, well, then that's the high and that's the bottom. And then where's the new 618? You would be going like the following. Look into ZBEC network. I have lots of followers that are into it and they swear by it. They think it's going to go through the roof. All that kind of jazz. All I have to do, look at that. All I have to do is flip it. Isn't that interesting? So that top end now becomes the bottom end. Again, interesting how Fibonacci works. Didn't even have to move that at all. So that's at 0.00057. Cool. That's all you need to know. If you start cracking above 0.00057 on ZBEC network, ZBCN, I will say onwards and upwards we go. That'll be looking great for a new all-time high. That'll be good. General crypto will be going up. Okay. I will be back into XRP for sure. I'll be back in XRP. And for me, that needs to be the cross of $2.60. Sorry, for me, I think it is. Is there any other levels? Let me just check. Does that and that match up with 260 billion? $2.60. I bet it does. Let's have a quick look. I'm about to eat my words. Ready? Let's see. It's close. It's close-ish. Okay, it's actually at technically $2.70. What's 10 cents between friends? But I really want to see it crack through $2.60, and then yeah, you'd really need to see it crack through $2.70. So that's the. It's looking a little detailed here, sorry, but yeah, get through $2.70 and looking fantastic for a new all-time high in XRP. Do something like that, and then onwards and upwards. Some of my other favorites, of course. TOSHI, here is TOSHI on the weekly time frame, USD 0.0047. I don't even know what fraction of a cent that is, but looking good. This is the Coinbase listing, so it's not the one that goes all the way back to the invention of TOSHI, where some bright spark went, base chain, CEO Brian Armstrong has a cat named TOSHI. I'm going to call a meme coin TOSHI, and let's see what it does. 2 years later, roughly, It got listed on Coinbase itself. That's when it had its massive move. Okay, and now we've been in a massive consolidation. Where did we find the exact bottom so far for TOSHI? Bingo, bango, bongo at the 0.786 from this low and this high, just like we showed you with the others market, right? We are not out of the woods yet, so its hurdles are a little bit higher, okay? So I would highly recommend, not financially, that if meme coins are going to come back again, if they're going to have a big resurgence, then you would want to look at TOSHI as a potential. Okay, it's the meme coin of base chain as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and it's a huge, amazing community. Let's pretend for one moment that this now is the bottom. So then you take it from this high and this low. So the hump, it needs to get over. Well, it's not even out of its. Yeah, it's not even in its zag zones just yet. So TOSHI's got a little bit of work to do. It needs to get through here. And that's at 0.0075. Cool. We at least need to. It's actually TOSHI's lagging a little bit against some of the others. It's lagging against ZBCN. That's for certain. Let's see. We need to get, it needs to get back up into here. Something like that. Start crossing over there. Ignore the time frame. Ignore the pattern. Blah, blah, blah. Do that. Find that as support. Break through something like that. Then we're talking higher prices. Then probably or possibly onto the new all-time high. No, I wouldn't say that yet. That would be an interim high. And then if we go some blue sky thinking, why not? Let's just do it for S&Gs. Sorry, where are we? Fib, rectangle. Ignore the squiggles. I'm just going to take it from this high and this low, and then we'd be coming up against this here. So there's your new 0.382, and that's from that high and that low. So you'd really want to say, oh, TOSHI's going to make a new all-time high. It has to get through. We're nowhere near there yet, and we may not even get there. But just out of interest, I would watch for that as a potential area of resistance. If we break through that, isn't that interesting? Once again, the power of Fibonacci. What did I show you before? If you go back on the replay, and we talked about 0.0075, which was the zag zone top that we had to break through from this high and this low. Now I'm taking from this high and this low, and the 0.236 is sitting at 0.000743. Yeah, close enough for jazz. And look how it lines up with that. So yeah, that's very, very easy to see. And I would expect about 0016 to act as some kind of resistance, okay? So then I would expect, if we do see a massive move in TOSHI, which could be great for everyone, expect some resistance there, and then you want to see that close, do that, and then you do that. It's just new all-time high for TOSHI. Anyway, I will be back in TOSHI. There's many others that we can talk about, but I won't go through many others. I'll just say one of the big boys at the moment that I've actually technically have been in a little bit was Hyperliquid, I should say, not Hyperchain, Hyperliquid, and I will be back in that, but we need to cross over. I think, as I said, it was around about that $40 area for me to say, okay, onwards and upwards. But on Hype, it's more likely, because it's been so strong, because Hype has been so strong, I would actually posit that potentially, if crypto gets through that 250 billion, Hype, because it's been so strong when others have been weak, you could see the flip potentially, where others are much stronger because it has had its time of being relatively strong against Bitcoin and other crypto. Interesting, but I'd need to see it clear at least that $40 level. So that is Hype, and I don't want to mention any others. So that is my humble opinion. We have to cross for altcoins. We've got to cross through that $250 billion area for shizzle, my nizzle. And, of course, if you want to learn to be a better investor, go to Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. Look at their courses, join their academy. But if you want to buy cryptocurrency and you don't want to do it yourself, you don't want to deal with all the exchanges, this, that, and the other, or you're trying to wake up your friends and family to buy Bitcoin and they know nothing about it, Okay, and you don't want to just buy it for them because there's tax implications if you're buying it under your name or whatever, or your DeFi account or whatever. You need to give them the gift of Stormrake at stormrake.com. Why? They're a full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. Your family or you can just call your dedicated broker, email or give them a call, and you can actually just chat to them and go, hey, I've heard this crypto is good. Do you guys list this one? What do you think about this? Are you considering this? They'll just give you because they're crypto nuts, right? They're crypto enthusiasts. So they'll just give you their own opinions about, I think this is good and that and the other. What's the market doing? You can just call and have a chat, but you can also just call them and say, can you just buy $5,000 of Bitcoin for me right now? No problem. They go out and do that, and they get you the best price. Okay, they're not jacking up the prices. They're using multiple different platforms, multiple different exchanges, etc., and they do it all for you. Okay, they can also offer plans to get into cryptocurrency. If you're not sure how to do it or what to do or how much should I invest, they give you that kind of non-financial advice as well. They would tell you what they would do in their own situation. Okay, so you can trade with confidence at the best price. And I did show you Bisha just before. I tried to show you that's Bisha, who believes $200,000 Bitcoin in 2025. Okay, now they charge a 3% brokerage fee if you hit the create account button and don't sign up through my link. Okay, so if you want to pay brokerage fees of 3%, and then when they increase their prices on July the 1st, you'll pay the increasing price, 3.2, 3.4, I don't know what they're putting it up to. You can do that, sure, go for it, no problem. But if you sign up before July 30, and even if you sign up after July 30, okay, you get a lifetime 33% discount on the brokerage fees. But if you sign up before June 30, before the end of the financial year, you've locked in 2% brokerage fees forever for the life of the account. You're grandfathered in, okay, before July the 1st. So I at least recommend, even if you don't want to buy Bitcoin until September, okay, I don't want to buy Bitcoin until September because I'm getting a big payout, I'm retiring, I'm this, I'm that, I'm getting an inheritance of whatever. Sign up for an account now to lock in 2% for life of the account, okay? And you do that by using the link which I'll provide everywhere, or you can just type this into the address bar, bit.ly/GMS capital letters, Stormrake lower capital letters. And that's it. It takes you up to the same sign up page, except you're doing it through my thing, and then you get that instant 2% brokerage fees for life before June the 30th. Now after June the 30th, you'll still get lifetime 33% brokerage fees. Okay, so you're still doing well anyway if you find this later on, but try and get in before June 30th, please, and thanks, because that's doing you a favor. Ladies and gentlemen, you have watched a Bitcoin and crypto update with me, Joe Main, here at Good Morning Stackers. We do a quick synchronized slurp. We'll be going live on Thursday. You'll get to do one live with me, but we've always got to do one at the end. Here we go. Slurp your beverage. 3, 2, 1. Nice work, people. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay informed. Keep stacking whatever you're stacking, and I'll see you soon.